lately we have been focusing on the tools required for writing a monologue, and we focused on using all 5 of our senses to really closely observe situations around us, conversations that we hear, and from that we gain an insight into what makes people tick, people's mannerisms, people's speech patterns, etc. And when observing, it's helpful to remember exactly what we need to look out for. So we know that we're using all 5 senses, and we know that we are observing really closely. We are listening, and we are using insight, and we're obviously using a good imagination. But what about what is going on? How do we know what to look for exactly? How do we break that down basically into simple features? I have a word for you that I want you to remember, and the word is escape. Escape. Okay, I'm a big fan of these words to help us remember things. The term for that is a mnemonic. So my mnemonic for you today is the word escape. But your task today is to remember what each of the letters from the word escape means. And this is what we need to do when we are observing people in preparation for writing a monologue. Okay, so you're possibly spying on someone or eavesdropping. Okay, and you can do this with someone in your family. You could even do it, maybe at a restaurant. Possibly not now, but in future, you're sitting, maybe having a milkshake or something, and behind you someone's talking, and you can be a little eavesdropper, rather cheekily, and hear what they're saying and take notes on it. Maybe in the playground, you can lug into what's going on. It's not the most polite of skills, and I'm not going to promote it too much, but it is something that is good for gaining an insight and developing characters to write about. So, let's go back to the word escape. What are the categories in this word escape? I am wanting you to take a pen and a piece of paper, and down one side of your piece of paper, I want you to write in big letters the words escape. So we have E.S.C.A.P.E. That is 6 letters, okay? So escape. So 6 big letters down the side. And I'm going to go over with you what each of those letters are referring to. Okay. So when you are observing, here you see observe, and we have the word escape written down the side of our page. E is for environment. Environment. So E is for environment. When you're talking about the environment, you're thinking about where is the person? Are they alone? Are they in a crowd? What do you spot about the environment that they are in? Okay, the place or the situation. So E is for environment. S is for speech. Now, when I say speech, I want you to think about the sound of their voice, okay? So it's their voice you're focusing on, their speech patterns. Do they speak slowly, quickly? Do they speak soft or loud? Do they have a high-pitched voice or a low voice? So think about all those things, okay? So E is for environment, S is for speech. How do they sound? C. Moving on from the speech, C is for conversation. And this is where it gets interesting. This is where our eavesdropping tactic kind of comes into play. We listen to a conversation. What is the person speaking about? What are they discussing with another person, or what are they, giving their opinion about? What is the topic of their conversation? So C is for conversation. Okay, next on our list we have A. A is for appearance. So you are focusing on one person, okay, and you look at that one person, and I want you to think really closely about what they look like, okay, their appearance. Now you want to be quite detailed here, okay? You want to think, firstly, they might be old, they might be young. Are they scruffy? Are they neat? Are they tall? Are they short? Do they look like they're prepared for work? Maybe they're wearing work clothes. Do they look flushed? Do they look pale? Lots and lots of different things about their appearance. Perhaps their hair, perhaps their eyes. Do they look worried or something like that? So, appearance. Good. Now P, the next one on our list. P is for purpose. Purpose. And we want to think, when we're thinking about the purpose of what they're talking about, what is the purpose or the reason for this person being in the situation they are in? So for example, if you're thinking, if it's someone in a shop, is that person there because they are shopping? Yeah? They might be there because they are working. They're maybe working behind the till or stacking shelves. Or maybe they are someone giving a delivery to that shop. Okay? Maybe they are a security guard at the door. So the different situation, just because they're in a certain place, they could be there for a variety of reasons. So when you're thinking about the purpose of the person being in that particular place at that particular time, think about the reason, the specific reason. And you can get into more and more detail if you want about that. Okay? And you want to describe what they are doing. Okay, so it's basically the action that they're involved in, the purpose for them being where they are and doing what they're doing. Okay. Finally, our last letter is E again, but this time E is for emotion. So you don't want to go into this before we talked about the appearance of someone. The emotion, yes, we can tell from the appearance of someone's face perhaps a little bit about the emotions that they might be feeling. But this, you're really looking closely at the emotions. And you can read this from the expression on their face, or perhaps from their body language, or going back to their speech, and perhaps the topic of their conversation. You can interpret whether they're agitated, whether they're angry, whether they're happy, whether they're excited. Are they bored? And you very much can tell this from observing a person in a particular situation. Okay, right, so now on your bit of paper, you are observing, obviously. If you want to put that as a title, that is great. You have written E.S.C.A.P.E down the side of your page, and I want you, if you can, without referring to the video, if you can do this by memory, it would be great. Can you remember what the letters stand for? When we are observing, what do we need to remember? What are the key points we need to remember? And you will be using this in a real observation task later, so it would be really good if you could really get this memorized. E is for, S is for, C is for, A is for, P is for, and E is for.
Okay, so I want you to write that on your paper and fill in the missing details so that next task we do, you are ready to use those features as part of a real life observation. Okay, good luck.
Bye, boys and girls.